So check it out. To build the health and the lifestyle that you want, you have to deconstruct before you actually construct, right? So I'm actually out here, right behind me is a new house I'm building. And I was talking to a client today, and she, for the first, 4 months of her journey, she was killing it. She was doing a great job. For the next 4 months, let's say, she's been really struggling. But during those 4 months, she's actually been constructing a kind of an add-on to her house, she and her husband. And so when we were talking about during our coaching call today, she was really looking at, you know what? I've taken my focus off of the prize. I've taken my attention and my energy away from what she was using towards, her health journey, and she started taking things for granted. She took her eye off the ball. So I kind of used the analogy of what she was building, similar to my project here. You're project managing your health, right? Now, some people like to, pick up a hammer and a saw, and they like to build it all by themselves. They want to feel that sense of enjoyment. I have a lot of clients though who don't want to pick up a hammer. They don't want to do much of the hard labor. They want to leverage and delegate as much as they can, and I think that's a smart thing. So when you look at the idea of project managing, if you're like the general contractor of your health and of your life, first and foremost, looking at your health, you have to have the right ingredients, right? Just as you would with a recipe, or if you're building a house, you have a blueprint, you have all the components, right? So let's just say you're baking a cake. You've got all the right ingredients. You got to make sure that you have the recipe. You got to have all the right ingredients, but you also have the right amounts of the ingredients. And not only that, you have to put the ingredients into, the right sequence, into the right, position. Otherwise, you'll have a cake that is more like a hockey puck than something that's delicious, that is edible. And the same thing holds true when it comes to building, a house and that sort of thing. You have to make sure that you delegate. And so with her, with the house, you've got contractors, you've got materials, you've got things you got to figure out. You have to get permits. But why I say all this is the same thing holds true with your health, right? You have your nutrition, you have your exercise, you have your psychology, you have to have your support group. You have to have her project with her house has gone really smoothly, all things considering, because she had great communication with all of her her contractors, her general contractor, with her husband. She's been choosing all the finishes. There was a timeline associated to when things could all get done. But then, of course, when you're building something new, just like it is with my house here, you got to be flexible, because it's not like, you're going to make sure that the house is done by a certain date. Things are always going to move because there's things that are outside of your control, just as it is with life. So anyways, if there's anything that I can impart on you using this analogy of building a house and that sort of thing, when you're really looking at building your health, and thus after you have that foundation built and poured, which is your physical health, then you can really start to build off of that in terms of your relational health. How are things with your spouse or your partner, any kids you might have? How's your financial health? The wealth that you're creating. How's your spiritual health? You have to have that sound foundation of your physical health, because if without that, you've got nothing. You're building a house on sand, totally, to be totally honest. So hope that's helpful. Just using that little analogy of, building a house here and making sure that you have all the right ingredients and all those things. If you're curious as to what those things are, if there's one area of life that I'm exceptionally good at doing, it's helping individuals figure out how to create the foundation and then building off of that. So whether it's your health, of your relationships, your physical health, your career, your spiritual health, all those things, reach out. Would love to support you. Otherwise, hope you're knocking it out of the park. Hope you have a wonderful night. It's cold out here. Got to get home. Take care.